What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. As men, most of us are taught at a young age to be strong, follow certain laws and codes, and carry ourselves a certain kind of way. That all sounds real good, but as human beings, nobody is perfect. We all have flaws and weaknesses. With most men, our number one weakness is women. I don't care how mentally strong we are, a pretty face or nice body gets the best of us off our game, especially if you are single, at your peak, and have some game about yourself. It's pretty easy to catch a young lady, or multiple, depending on how you are out here moving. And that's a pretty normal thing. That's what you are supposed to do. If you are not married, in your 20s, you having fun, playing the scene to see what's out there, especially if you have some wheels to get you around the city, a job to be able to spend a few dollars every now and again to go on a date. Then you add the accessibility of dating sites or social media. You can slide in a female's DMs or send a message to see what's to them. They might feel the same way. Y'all link up. Now here comes the hard part, because you just never know who's behind that screen, what's going on in their personal life, or what type time they are really on. But for most men, every day we take that risk. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we will be taking it to the District of Columbia, Washington D.C, to discuss a case of a young man that went to a woman's house for a date and vanished. Back in 2017, Marty McMillan Jr was 22 years old and residing with his grandmother in Maryland. Marty, just like most young men, had been in a little bit of trouble, but nothing major, and was trying to get his life together. He had just landed a good job in the electrical field, and with the help of his grandmother, purchased a whip, a 2003 Volkswagen. Everything was working out for the young man. He was even dating, using the app Plenty of Fish, and meeting some decent young women. One he really took an interest in was a 21-year-old young lady named Shania Davis. The two made a connection on the site, and Marty had even been to her apartment 2 times on Martin Luther King Avenue in Southeast DC. So on April 22nd, 2017, there wasn't nothing strange when Shania hit the young man up and stated, "Come by, but you gotta hurry up before my peoples come home." It was late night, but Marty was willing to take that trip. He had to get there before 3 a.m. Little did he know, Shania had texted her boyfriend, who was 20 years her senior, 40-year-old John McRae. Allegedly, John, Shania, and another woman shared the apartment together and were in a polyamorous relationship. The women were not allowed to date any other men though, and John meant that. When he got the message from Shania asking what time he was leaving work, he thought it was strange and suspicious, so he decided to head home to investigate. Marty, in the blind about everything, was already en route to the apartment. He arrived, and him and Shania did what most do that time of the morning, got it in. As he was getting dressed, they heard a car pull up. It was John. He snuck home early to see what was going on. Shania panicked and told Marty to get in the closet. He had a gun on him, as he knew the area wasn't all that safe, but he decided to do what she said. Seconds later, John entered the room. He instantly started asking questions and looking around. He opened the closet and shots went off. A few days would go by. After that night, Marty's grandmother and other family members found it strange they didn't hear from him or see him, thinking something just wasn't right. They went to DC police to file a missing person report, in which police took information about Marty but really didn't move on it. But the family didn't wait. They got the young man's phone records and searched, saying his last text message was to a young lady in DC. He also had contacted her on POF. They did some more digging to trace Marty's steps that day before he went to her house. Her friend told them he was at the house watching a game with him, then left. Someone also stated they saw him driving on the 2900 block of M Street Southeast the day he disappeared. That was it. Marty's family took the new information to police. They contacted Shania and asked if she had seen or heard from the young man, in which she stated no, she hasn't. They told her his family felt something wasn't right, and she was the last person he contacted, in which she nonchalantly stated, "Oh, I didn't see the message because I didn't have my phone." Crazy, but at that time, police took her word and didn't investigate no further. But Marty's grandmother wasn't going for it. She felt like because he had been in a little bit of trouble, that law enforcement wasn't taking it serious as a missing persons case, even with clues right in front of them. The family took matters into their own hands and started searching for Marty every week, tracing his steps, but months would go by with no signs of the young man. 3 months later, his family found his car parked on a city block in D.C. With that new break, the family went back to police. They finally budged and went to Shania's and John's apartment. They searched the home and found guns, money, and PCP. One of the guns found was Marty's. They brought in cadaver duds to search for a body or any trail. They located a bullet stuck in the wall and a sheet under Shania's bed. They asked the couple about Marty again, but they both stated they haven't saw him. John insisted he didn't know him. A neighbor and friend of John's was also at the house, Rayshawn Wallace. They searched his apartment as well. Police only charged John with the guns and drugs, but that was it. John stayed in jail, but Shania was released. More months would go by, until almost 6 months later, a body was discovered on Suitland Parkway in PG County, wrapped in a blanket in a shallow grave. It was all skeletal remains, as it seemed it had been out there for a minute. They were sent to a lab to be examined. It was determined the person had been shot over 4 times, and dental records showed unfortunately the body was Marty's. Family and friends were hurt and angry at the same time. As his grandmother stated, "I told y'all it shouldn't have took this long," thinking Shania had set him up to be robbed. Detectives doubled back, checking cell phone records, GPS that was in Marty's car. After that, detectives went to question John, who was still in custody. His story changed. He stated he was at work, and Shania was known for setting up and robbing men with the help of his friend and neighbor Rayshawn, but he insisted he didn't know what happened. Detectives went to Shania next. After hearing the claims, she broke down and told detectives everything that happened that night. When her and Marty finished having intercourse, John popped up. She told Marty to get in the closet, but John went to search. As he opened the door, he allegedly shot Marty multiple times before grabbing his gun, as Marty never shot it. He then angrily told Shania to help him clean up. With the help of someone else, he waited till about 6 a.m., wrapped Marty's body up, and took it to PG to dump it, and then he ditched his car. His debit card was used after that date, causing police to believe he was still alive. That's one of the reasons they claimed to not at first move on the information the family gave. John was hit with second-degree murder charges, and Shania 3 counts of accessory after the fact. Marty's family was glad some justice was coming, but angry it took so long. Their joy was short-lived, as Shania was quickly released. The family felt she deserved to be charged with the hit as well. At first she was, but then the charges were dropped to lesser. John was offered a plea deal of 18 to 21 years to run concurrent with time he was already serving from the 2017 case when police found the guns and drugs, but he turned it down. While I was doing my research, I couldn't find anything stating him, Shania, or anyone else was sentenced yet for Marty's murder. Rest in peace to Marty. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to his family. I'm not sure if he knew when Shania said hurry up before my peoples come home that she was talking about a man, but unfortunately his trust of the situation cost him his life. It's sad to say, as men, when it comes to women, our judgment sometimes can be mostly cloudy. We become one-track minded. I get Shorty lied to police because she was scared of John, But why play these kind of games if you already in a relationship? It's a catch-22 because Marty possibly could have known she had a dude. So I won't point the finger. If he did, fellas, don't ever go nowhere where another man lays his head to do nothing. That's a death trap. If he didn't know and Shania didn't tell him who her peoples was, he could have just thought it was family. That's still cold. Either way, it's crazy. This story never got any national attention, which is surprising, as Marty's family felt he was prejudged from jump. More of this story, fellas, think outside the box when it comes to these women meeting girls online and pulling up to cribs. Never trust that situation, especially if they tell you to hurry up or come now. It's a dirty game out here. A pretty face, smile, or nice body shouldn't equal trust. Move accordingly, and remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, crazy story, man. Rest in peace to Marty. Like I said, I send my prayers and condolences to his family. I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. It's another episode of Hood Tales. Appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.